Hey, welcome back. Some more Age of Empires for you. We're on Dry Arabia, playing the Abbasid dynasty, and I'm up against my opponent Snow, who's playing as the Rus. Now, this is going to be a 2-town center opening from me. Pretty classic. I thought this game would be a good example of going against an opponent who really likes to ram rush. The Rus are an opponent who will mass produce archers and then push you with archers, rams, and maybe one other unit, either like horsemen or spearmen, depending on what unit you go. Strategy for the Rus is to hunt game on the map to gain money. And they also really like to hunt these boar. We've been seeing a lot of Rus players go for these boar that are out on the map. And the boars, they're really good. I mean, 2,000 food on these guys. And you can gather from them incredibly quickly. They have like a better gather rate than berries or sheep or deer. And so we're going to expect my opponent to go after one of these boar. They'll likely put a hunting cabin down and a wooden fortress, which is able to store 8 villagers, and 8 villagers is the exact number that can gather from a boar at any one time. So, we're likely going to see that, and we're just going to have to let it go. There were previous games where I would get aggressive and try to stop my opponent from getting these boar. And I kind of had mixed results. It'd be a lot of maybe killing a villager to them killing some of my horsemen. Kind of mixed results. But overall, it just didn't feel good fighting them over the boar. I mean, I'm the Abbasid. I can't even use the boar. I can only really deny them from getting it. It's not like I want the 2,000 food that's sitting in these boar. I just want the berries that are all over the map. We're in the feudal age, we're getting all our necessary upgrades. We're getting wheelbarrow and we're getting fresh foodstuffs. Wheelbarrow is a good economic upgrade, so is fresh foodstuffs, and we're gonna make one more economic investment by gathering up stone and getting a second town center. Now this is the right economy balance that I like to see. I've got 7 villagers, they're all on berries gathering food. I've got 8 villagers chopping trees. I've got 1 on gold because I just really don't need gold. And I'm also gathering from stone here. Oh, we were able to snipe his scout right there. That felt pretty good. Once we gather up our 300 stone, then we're just going to drop our second town center. So right when this stone outcropping drops below like 1,200 stone, you'll see me pull my villagers and send them off to build my town center. I was thinking about where to put the town center. I was thinking maybe this deer hunt up here, but we've already shot all the deer. It's really only good to place your town center over deer hunts when the deer are still alive, because the dead bodies of the deer actually block you from placing buildings. That way you don't accidentally delete food off of the map. How frustrating would it be to put a building on top of a deer carcass and it just erases the deer carcass? That'd be incredibly frustrating. Our first military structure we put down is this stable, so we're going to get some horsemen, and what we're needing to defend is this second town center. We placed it in between these berries and this wood, so when these villagers finish this town center, they're going to work on these berries, and then as I produce villagers from the town center, they're going to chop these trees down, because we need trees, we need lumber. And I should put a mill down here. That'll give the little berry bushes a kind of bonus. They'll get an additional 100 food. And this is a nice spot. There's a lot of food here. There's deer carcasses, there's berry bushes. If we can keep this area secure, we're going to be set for the early game, because look at all this food and look at all this wood right here. Okay, good. There's the mill. So now we need to figure out what my opponent's going for And of course, just mass produce archers and get some ranged upgrades. Fortunately, this scout right here has a pretty good eyeball on what my opponent's doing. I'm seeing an archery range, I'm seeing 2 barracks. 2 barracks means a decent number of spearmen. Kind of an interesting choice from my opponent. Oh, and you see that 2 archers rallied at the same time. I'm starting to suspect maybe there's a second archery range back here. So he's pretty much just invested a bunch of wood into these military production structures, and now he's just, yeah, he's mass producing. Okay, so it's going to be archers and spearmen. He's going to make up a big ball of them, and then he's going to send them at me. He'll get them to the front of my base and then start building rams. We need to build up our own army, get some blacksmith upgrades, and always keep an eye on when his army moves out. The horsemen I want to stay active with. I want them at least moving around the map or getting to the other side of the map and staying still, because, oh, we actually find his scout here. Be great if we could trap him against the trees and maybe kill him. Oh, but he's just gonna run away. Well, we'll chase him. We'll chase him. There's the blacksmith. We're gonna get our ranged upgrades, like ranged attack 1 and ranged defense 1. We're still keeping an eye. That's a lot of spearmen. Considering the number of spearmen, I'm not gonna make too many horsemen. I mean, I should continually make them. The real thing I should be producing are camel archers. I'd love to mix in a few of these because they do extra damage versus those spearmen. And once we eliminate the spearmen, we only need a handful of horsemen to really deal with the remainder of his army. And I'm keeping my scout nearby. I'm almost always got an eye on his army. And I've also parked a scout over here because it looked like a pretty resource-rich area. There's deer, there's gold, there's berries, there's stone. If my opponent comes out and tries to take these resource points, I want to be able to harass them. So I'm going to keep my scout here. I can always just send my horsemen across the map to harass it. And now I lost track of his army, so now I'm moving my scout to try and get an eyeball on them. And there they are again. My opponent's wisely tucking them near forests like this. It's easy to lose vision of them, but I was pretty quick with my scout. I reacted well, and we were able to find them. We're continuing to produce units. It feels like I don't have enough, but we are producing consistently, and we just prevented us from getting house blocked and basically having our population capped out. And we're getting our +1 upgrade. We can queue up the ranged armor soon enough. Now we're just watching, we're waiting. The longer he takes, the better, because now our economic advantage is paying off. And I saw him build a hunting cabin here. I figured he's got a lot of spearmen. These horsemen aren't going to do too much during the siege, so we're going to send them out and try to deal some damage to his economy. If he moves forward right now, that's fine. We'll just deal some damage, kill some villagers, and then we'll send our horsemen back home. They're fast, so they can respond pretty quickly. Look at that. 3 villagers. We'll take them. So that's a good pickup, but since he's under attack, he's probably going to get pissed and try to attack me. Cleaning up that last villager. Now my horsemen need to either come home or they could start burning down this hunting cabin. Not sure. But we've still got eyes on the army. In fact, we can see him making the rams. These horsemen should be willing to run home when I need them, probably towards the tail end of the battle. But here comes the ram push. I've been practicing really hard to try and deal with these ram pushes. I'm going to send villagers away from the wood over to this gold because I can start to kind of transition to the castle age. Good, I'm getting the ranged armor upgrade. Hopefully that finishes before the battle really kicks out. And I'm going to use my horsemen on the back end to kill his reinforcing units. So you can see he's at the front doing battle. I'm picking off his units as they come through. Don't want to engage with these spearmen, but that's okay. All right, here's the battle. I'm moving my archers forward into position. I don't want them attacking these battering rams. And my camel archers are doing great damage versus his spearmen. The spearmen evaporate. Now he's just got a huge mass of archers. And my ranged armor finishes right as we engage. So while all these arrows are being exchanged, we've got +1 ranged armor. He's only got +1 attack. So you can see we've got both +1s here. He's only got the +1 attack. We're using villagers to burn down the rams because he just sent them too far forward. It didn't seem like he wanted to keep them. And now just a few horsemen are going to do a lot of damage to his archers. And fortunately, I still have some of those horsemen that were harassing his reinforcing units, so they're here to clean things up. These archers aren't going to be a threat anymore, and we can chase them all the way home. These horsemen get a bonus 9 damage versus these ranged units. So every attack is really painful for him. What did he accomplish? Took my town center down to half health. Pretty good. Honestly, even if I had lost it, I don't think it would have been too crushing. I have a huge economic advantage, and we denied him here while killing 3 villagers, so that's definitely a good sign. We're going to stay active on the map. Notice my production is continuing. I'm still making military units. I want to re-up my army, because right now it's about a handful of archers. Okay, yeah. We're putting down even more military production. But at the same time, I'm also teching up. I'm sending more villagers to food sources. So you can see we're rapidly taking down these berries and these deer. I'm so glad these deer were here. Very convenient. And of course, we've got a lot of villagers on gold as well. So now we have the ability to age up. We'll probably go culture wing. But more than anything, after that, I need to know, can I be more greedy? Or should I just keep producing units? So I'm sending my scouts out. I want to know what's going on. I decided to send a camel archer in too, just to see what's going on. And I see a big re-upped army. Now I know we need to retreat. We need to go home. We need to gather up our forces because he has already remade a sizable army. So now we just need time. Because look at all the archers we're producing. We're going to keep my scout kind of near his army to keep an eye on it. And we're finding more locations to raid with our horsemen. He's not leaving behind any spearmen in these areas. So you can see I'm going to position my horsemen. I don't want to run into his main army. And unfortunately, we do. So we have to pull away. That was unfortunate. Looks like we lost maybe 2, 3 horsemen. Yeah, that was bad. But 4 horsemen can still do a lot of damage. So we're going to circle them around the back of his base. And that's just buying us more time. Look, he's retreating with his army rather than coming forward. Probably when he sees me age up, he's going to send his units out. Because he's going to know that I don't have as much resources because I spent them aging up. And I don't have a military. Looks like he's going for it anyway. He knows to come forward. He's pretty much feudal all inning here. These horsemen are going to loop around the bottom of the map and then attack these villagers gathering food. New age begins. I'm getting upgrade for my archers. It's the unit I have the most of. I could maybe also get the camel archer upgrade, but I really want to get the archer upgrade. And I'd like to get preservation of knowledge as well. Where's his army? Oh, it looks like it was right here. I'm pulling my villagers away because I do not want to deal with the army right here. I'm going to pull them back. I'll put them on stone if I need to. I can get a castle later. Here he comes forward with more ramps. I'm going to back up. No need to engage just yet. He can take this mill if he wants it. And I can lose a few villagers. That's okay. Every time he loses spearmen, it's going to be painful for him. Watch the spearmen melt. The camel archers retreat. And now they just delete the spearmen. And the spearmen were needed because now I've got knights. I've got lancers out. Look at them try to kill. Look at all these archers trying to kill my lancer. They all fire at the same time. They all deal like 1 damage. While all of this is going on, we've killed all the villagers at this berry bush. And now we're moving on to these villagers here near the deer. He's left behind the rams yet again. We're just gonna pull these villagers and burn each of them down. Yep, here they come. And at this point, I think I've got him. We've done so much economic damage. These horsemen have huge kill counts. They've killed so many villagers. I was really proud of my gameplay here. It really felt tight and in control. I held off 2 ram pushes. I scouted well, identified places where I could get free villager kills. And my opponent, for some reason, didn't attack this side of my base. If I had seen his army start to rotate this way, my army would have moved to respond. But it's pretty amazing that he decided to just keep going for my landmarks. It really was an all-in from him. He was not doing a ram push to destroy my second town center. He was doing a ram push to destroy my landmarks. The House of Wisdom's pretty injured, and my town center's still at half health. But yeah, it felt really good. Rus players, they just spam these archers nonstop. I'm glad my opponent mixed in so many spearmen. I think if he had gone maybe one more archer range instead of a barracks, we would have really been pushed to the edge. But with him producing all of those spearmen, we just got a lot of easy kills. And I kept my horsemen alive by just keeping them away from his spearmen. I just didn't have my horsemen in my main army. I didn't need them. If he's just going to have a ton of spearmen in his army, then my horsemen are going to be elsewhere doing damage. And I was really happy with my scouting this game. Nothing he did was unnoticed by me. So now we're just going to go for the finish with this ram push. Probably would have surrendered if I were my opponent at this point. I mean, the villagers have just been annihilated. The income per minute is, yeah, very one-sided. So we're just going to send our rams in and clean up. It was a good game. I honestly think there were times where I was really on the ropes. I mean, I had 3 rams attacking my town center while we were duking it out, but some really well-timed blacksmith upgrades, constantly producing archers from my archery ranges. It just felt good. And identifying a good spot for this second town center was also crucial. We made it to the Castle Age. We really mounted our advantages. And oh my god, it's just a slaughter. I sent these units here just because I thought he might be coming back to rebuild a hunting cabin here, and right when it finishes, we arrive. Anyway, hope you can make it for the next game. Probably see more Abbasid gameplay like this, though I might try out some other civilizations. This 2-town center opening I'm feeling pretty good about. It's definitely built up a lot of confidence, and it's definitely getting me wins on the ladder. I do like to play these longer macro games, and anything to hold off these ram pushes. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you at the next game. Catch you next time.